Hello, you're watching Friday edition of News Mongolia. Today is August 5th. For our top stories, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is to pay a visit to Mongolia from August 7 to 8. Starting from August 1st, international air passengers are required to fill in a health declaration form for entry. Mongolia sees resurgence of coronavirus cases. For other news, stay tuned. The Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will visit Mongolia from August 7 to 8. During his visit, a large-scale economic as well as various social projects are expected to be discussed between two countries. Some of the important negotiations to be held between China and Mongolia are regarding the Irtenburg hydropower plant project, Bagnor electric plant project, and issues related to border crossings and logistics. For instance, the Irtenburg hydropower plant is a state-level project which can generate electricity for the western provinces. The project is planned to be financed by the Chinese government. Experts know that if the current transportation and logistics issues can be resolved during the meeting, the rising cost of transportation can be lowered, thereby easing rising inflation. In February 2022, Mongolian Prime Minister Oyun met with Chinese President Xi Jinping during the Beijing Winter Olympic Games. State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi is paying an official visit to Mongolia 6 months after that meeting. Starting from August 1st, air passengers coming from foreign countries will have to fill in a health declaration form to enter Mongolia. The decision was made due to the rising number of coronavirus cases and monkeypox outbreak across the globe. The statement was released by Miat Mongolian Airlines on Thursday. According to the World Health Organization, COVID-19 cases from mutated BA4 and BA5 variants are rising globally. Moreover, World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox outbreak as a public health emergency of international concern in July. By mid-July, more than 16,000 cases had been reported in 75 countries. The health declaration form will be handed over to passengers during the flight. The forms will be collected at the border entry point. As of Friday, 349 new cases of coronavirus have been reported in Mongolia. Since mid-July, a sharp rise of over 100 cases have been recorded. In August, the number of cases is exceeding 300. According to the data from the Ministry of Health, the confirmed number of cases was 75 on July 14th. However, on July 15th, the number dramatically increased to 153, more than double that from the day before. Health experts note that the Omicron BA5 variant is widely circulating in Mongolia. The incubation period is 2 to 3 days. It is predicted that in late August or early September, the Omicron spread is likely to reach its peak. In the last 24 hours, 349 new coronavirus cases have been confirmed through PCR testing nationwide. More than half of the cases have been recorded in the capital city, with case numbers reaching 189. Additionally, one more fatality was reported. The most recorded cases have been contacted within a family environment, at workplaces, and public gatherings. The rise of the Omicron variant is of concern as the new school year is coming closer. At present, around 19% of total coronavirus patients are children under age 17. The most vulnerable age group is aged 5 to 11, which accounts for 44%. Starting this week, children between the ages of 5 and 11 have been vaccinated against COVID-19. The German Pfizer vaccine is planned to be administered to about 137,000 children on a voluntary basis. The next wave of COVID-19 has begun. This wave is generated by the BA4 and BA5 variants of Omicron. Currently, the wave is running at about 70%. It will most likely reach 90% by September. So at this time, we are immunizing children aged 5 to 11 to prevent symptomatic COVID-19 infections and complications. The burden on children has increased the most due to the number of hospitalizations. We witnessed that the disease is increasing because the infection rate is high among unvaccinated children. The variant surveillance carried out at the National Center for Infectious Diseases shows that the BA4 and BA5 variants of COVID-19 are now active in the population. It is emphasized that immunization is the method that can protect about 95% of citizens from infection. In the capital city of Ulaanbaatar alone, there are 66,400 children aged 5 to 11 who need to be vaccinated, and the interval between doses is 1 month. On August 4th, the Minister of Health, Iqbal, warmly received the head of the UNFPA in Mongolia, Khalid Sharifi. The two sides discussed their cooperation in improving maternal health in Mongolia over the next 5 years. The UNFPA, or the United Nations Population Fund, is an agency that focuses on sexual and reproductive health worldwide. The first comprehensive country program between the government of Mongolia and UNFPA officially started back in 1992. The UNFPA country office was established in Ulaanbaatar in 1998. Khalid Sharifi has taken up his appointment as head of office for the Mongolia country office from March 22, 2022. The leaders of UNFPA Mongolia and the Ministry of Health discussed working together to improve maternal health in Mongolia over the next 5 years. Their thorough discussion covered current challenges in maternal, newborn, and child health in the country. Dr. Khalid introduced the UNFPA and Government of Mongolia's new country program starting from 2023 and the highlights of the new phase of the telemedicine for maternal and newborn health project funded by the Government of Luxembourg. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Thank you for staying with us at MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs. The Mongolian folk metal band The Who has announced an auction for their vinyl record Girik. Girik, their debut album, was released in 2019. Right after its release, the album topped Billboard's World Album in just 2 weeks. Also, the band gained 1.6 million followers on their YouTube channel after the album's release. Their music video, Yue Yue Yu, has over 99 million views as of today. The Girik vinyl record contains the band's 9 hit songs. The vinyl also features the autographs of the band members. The auction will start on August 5th and will last for 5 days. It is being organized in collaboration with the Art Financial Group. Together with the Art Group, the band is also working on their first metaverse rock concert, which will take place as an online event. Currently, the band is having the world tour in Australia and New Zealand. Milky Way, a Japanese Mongolian dance festival, will be held on Squatter Square on Monday, August 22nd. It is considered as the largest dance festival of the year. The festival commemorates the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Japan and Mongolia. It was initiated by the Honorary Consulate of Mongolia in Tokushima, Japan. Over 400 Japanese and Mongolian dancers will participate in the festival. Visitors will have the chance to become familiar with traditional Japanese dances such as awa odori and yosakoi. From Mongolian side, traditional and contemporary Mongolian dance performances will be on display. During the festival, the arts, culture, cuisine, and customs of both countries will be introduced through a variety of events. The Milky Way Joint Dance Festival is being organized by the Hungir Theater and the School of Dance Art of the Mongolian University of Culture and Arts. On August 4th, the Minister of Labour and Social Protection Arunzaya received the Australian ambassador to Mongolia, Katie Smith. Youth employment, gender equality, disability inclusion, and social protection were the main topics of the discussion. The year 2022 marks the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Australia and Mongolia. During the meeting, two sides noted that the regulation of working and holiday visa is continuing effectively through the Memorandum of Understanding between both governments. One of the major education projects by the Australian government to Mongolia is the Australia Awards Mongolia Scholarship Program. It's a flagship bilateral development program between the two countries. Ambassador Katie Smith indicated that around 700 young Mongolians have studied in Australia through this scholarship program since the 1990s. She also expressed her pleasure with Australia and Mongolia having strong collaboration on social and labor issues as part of the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations. The government of Australia also implements a program towards the development and leadership of Mongolian women in executive positions program. Minister Arunzaya expressed her gratitude that this program has made a significant contribution to the empowerment of female employees. The Mongol Derby, the world's longest and toughest horse race across Mongolian steppe, has finished its July 2022 edition. Riders from USA and South Africa crossed the finish line together and all became winners. The length of the horse race is 1,000 kilometers. The world's longest and toughest horse race has been held annually in Mongolia since 2009. In 2020 and 2021, the event was cancelled due to the pandemic. This year, the 12th edition of Mongol Derby is taking place in July and August. At the July 2022 edition, 46 riders from 10 countries participated. The riders had 10 days to cross the finish line. On the 8th day, two horsewomen, Deirdre Griffith from the USA and Wilhelmine Joost from South Africa, crossed the finish line together and became the winners. The Mongol Derby race is organized according to the Mongolian horse station system Ushto, which was the fastest postal system during the times of Genghis Khan. Participants are mounted on a series of native Mongolian horses and change horses every 35 kilometers at the designated checkpoints. They eat and rest with nomadic families along the way. It is estimated that riders stay on their saddle up to 200 kilometers a day and ride about 28 different horses through Mongolia's wilderness, ranging from cold mountain passes to hot sand dunes. According to the Mongolian Tourism Association, the Mongol Derby not only promotes Mongolian wild nature and nomadic life, it also brings financial benefits to local herdsmen as well. From this year's competition alone, more than 2 billion Mongolian tugrux have been invested in Mongolian tourism and economic sectors. The August edition of Mongol Derby will start on August 10th. Here comes the international news from our partner agencies. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi met with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Friday. Pelosi flew to Japan on Thursday evening in the final leg of her Asian tour that included earlier stops in Singapore, Malaysia, and South Korea.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said Friday that China's military exercises aimed at Taiwan represent a grave problem that threatens regional peace and security after 5 ballistic missiles launched as part of the drones landed in Japan's exclusive economic zone. Kishida, speaking after breakfast with U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and her congressional delegation, said the missile launches need to be stopped immediately. China, which claims Taiwan has threatened to annex it by force if necessary, called Pelosi's visit earlier this week to the self-ruled island a provocation and on Thursday began military exercises, including missile strikes training, in 6 zones surrounding Taiwan in what could be the biggest since the mid-1990s. In Taipei on Wednesday, Pelosi said the American commitment to democracy in Taiwan and elsewhere remains ironclad. She became the first House Speaker to visit the island in 25 years. Japanese Defense Minister Nobuo Kishi said 5 missiles landed on Thursday in Japan's exclusive economic zone of Hateruma, an island far south of Japan's main islands. He said Japan protested to China, saying the missiles threatened Japan's national security and the lives of Japanese people, which we strongly condemn. At a breakfast earlier Friday, Pelosi and her congressional delegation also discussed their shared security concern over China, North Korea, and Russia, and pledged their commitment to working toward peace and stability in Taiwan, Kishida said. Pelosi also was to hold talks with her Japanese counterpart, Lower House Speaker Hiroyuki Hosoda.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday angrily denounced a report by Amnesty International stating that Ukraine's military tactics have put civilian lives at risk.
The leading human rights organization said Ukraine's tactic of positioning rocket launchers and missile pads in the vicinity of residential buildings needlessly endangered citizens' lives and violated established rules of war. We saw today a completely different report from Amnesty International, which unfortunately tries to amnesty the terrorist state and shift the responsibility from the aggressor to the victim. There cannot be even hypothetically any condition under which any Russian attack on Ukraine becomes justified. Aggression against our state is unprovoked, invasive, and openly terroristic. And if someone makes a report in which the victim and the aggressor are allegedly the same in something, if some data about the victim is analyzed and what the aggressor was doing at the same time is ignored, this cannot be tolerated. The president went on to underline Kiev's intent to reach out and build ties with African states, where he says there is a surplus of Russian propaganda. Early in the day, Zelensky took questions from journalists from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa. The tale comes after Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov toured African states and drummed up support late last month. Zelensky also urged Brussels to expedite the disbursement of funds to the state that enabled it to function, somewhat that he says has been mired in red tape.
Now let's take a look at our regular feature on sports.
The Asian Judo Championship continues in Nur-Sultan, Kazakhstan. 168 athletes from 17 countries are competing in this tournament, with 17 judokas from Mongolia, including Olympic bronze medalists Tohtwater, Bashu and Hortlota, are participating in this competition. So far, Mongolia has won 1 gold medal and 2 bronze medals. Bashu, who competed in the men's under 66 kg category, won the gold medal against Japan's Ryoma Tanaka and won the prestigious title of Asian champion. Narantitsig and Hortlota, who competed in women's under 52 kg and under 48 kg respectively, won bronze medals. Today, on the second day of the competition, judokas led by Tohtwater, Qankhaj, Altenbagen and Ingchimik will compete. The 7th International Sports Festival, Children of Asia 2022, continues in Vladivostok, Primorsky Krai, Russia. 1,355 athletes from 13 countries are participating in these games. A team of 48 athletes and coaches from Mongolia are participating in 5 sports: judo, sambo, kurash wrestling, mass wrestling and swimming, under the direct supervision of the State Committee for Physical Education and Sports. Nendirtung in the 47 kg and Chinhusling won bronze medals in sambo wrestling competition yesterday. From the Mongolian youth team, Shilugeng won a silver medal in the 46 kg weight category, and Tugultur won the bronze medal in the 50 kg weight category. The 44th World Chess Olympiad continues in Chennai, India. Our men's and women's teams played their 6 games yesterday on August 3rd. Our men's team, which suffered its first defeat in the 5th round, met Morocco this time. Grandmaster Bilgu missed the match, but Batsurung, Amartufshu, Rundawa, and Qairtung all defeated their opponents and won with a score of 4-0. Thus, our men's team has 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss after 6 matches. But our women's team had a match with the Norwegian team. Grandmaster Itul missed the game. Although Bairma, who sat at the first table, was defeated, and Mungunzol and Mukhzol won, so Our Lady scored another victory. That leaves them with 4 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Today the team are resting and tomorrow the 7th round matches will begin. Currently our men's team is the 38th place with 8 points, while the women's team is in the 19th place with 9 points.
Here comes the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next time with more news updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.